by a senator, a local senator, who said, this isn't going to your debt, it's going to your profit, and it's $1 billion to profit. She said that is about correct. I would agree with those estimates. So if my opponent knows more than the Georgia Power spokesperson, that's fine. But I'm telling you what Georgia Power themselves say about that bill. Number two, on House Bill 481, the fact of the matter is, part of that bill was one of the largest capital gains tax decreases that Georgia had ever seen. And the government actually vetoed most of that bill. So a lot of that will go into effect. Number three, on the housing tax credit, 90% of those homes, it's a fact, 90% of those homes were going to be sold anyway. So it basically was just a giveaway to construction companies. It was $1,800 that was going to be given to persons. The Georgia Budget Policy Institute has estimated that 90% of those homes would have been sold in any event. So let's talk real policy, okay? Number one, we ought to get back to our Meals on Wheels program. When we talk about, Wheels to Work program, when we talk about getting people to work, most of the time they're persons who don't have access to get to work. We had a great Wheels to Work program in existence in Georgia, but it was cut. And so when we talk about giving money to different entities, we could have gave money to our Wheels to Work program and got persons in low to moderate income levels to their jobs, to where they could actually be working. Number two, we talked about Senate Bill 206, which talks about doing a cost-benefit analysis, and cost-benefit analysis on tax credits. I go a step further. There ought to be a moratorium on tax credits until we get out of this fiscal crisis. It's estimated that Georgia could save $100 million per year by doing that. And if we did that, then we also could take those savings and use it to try to get people back to work. So we have to talk about real programs that can work for Georgians. And those are some of the proposals that I would have. Number three, we need to also look at the fact that teachers are workers, okay? Teachers are workers, pipe fitters are workers, people who have jobs, believe it or not, they are workers. We ought to find a way to make sure they're not being furloughed and their incomes can go up. And if we invest more into education, if we invest more into our construction industry, when we don't necessarily need tax credits to do that because 90% of those homes are already going to be built, that provides jobs. Why is it that we have this opinion that the only job that's created is one that's created by the private sector? The public sector has a role in creating jobs. The last I checked, when a teacher gets a job, that is a job. They pay taxes. They go to work. We have this fixation that the only way you can talk about job creation is if you give a corporation a bunch of money, and that's job creation. Job creation can come from your government. It is yours. That's why it's your government. It's time for us to really get back to that and look at how we can solve some of these issues from a community standpoint. Thank you.